Hello friends, we are back and ready to talk about Microsoft Teams again. Today we're going to be doing the 2024 Microsoft Teams tutorial. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. If you are new to Microsoft Teams and you need a little bit more information on how to use it, maybe your employer just switched over to using it and you don't know what the heck is going on or how to use it at all, this is the video for you. Microsoft Teams is known to update pretty often, so this is our 2024 March tutorial, but maybe at the end of this year, this might look a little bit different, so don't quote me on all this stuff by the end of this year, or maybe even by the end of this month. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about activities, general settings, chats, teams, calendars, and app add-ons. Let's first talk about the Activity Center. If you can look at my screen here, we've got the activities pulled up. These activities are basically what has happened recently that maybe you haven't seen. If you click on this little guy right here, you can check all the unread. And then if you click it again, it'll show everything. So notice that I actually don't have anything that I haven't read, so I'm all caught up. And then if I click here, it'll show everything, even the ones that I have read. Then something that's really cool about this is you can actually filter it. So if you click on these three lines right here, you can choose to type in some sort of filter. So let's say that I only wanted to see things that came from Bobby. I would type Bobby and notice that it would only show the activity for Bobby. This Activity Center shows the updates for the Teams channels, for your chats, and for really anything that goes on inside of any of those. Another cool thing is if you look here on the more filters, it actually shows examples of filters that you could do. You could even filter it by an app. So for example, when I clicked that, it showed only that approvals notifications were up. Now, if you exit out of that and you go to the three dots next to activity, you've got some more options here. What I want to go to is the notification settings. Inside of the notification settings, you've got some options in here to play sounds with the notifications, play sounds with upcoming calls or meetings, show messages and content previews in the notification. I would highly suggest, if you're just starting to use Microsoft Teams, to go into the settings area and make sure that all of these notifications and activities are set to how you'd like. So for example, for the chats and channels section here, you can choose to show messages as a banner, or you can choose to turn it off so chats won't show up on your screen. You can also choose if you want to be notified when somebody mentions you inside of a channel in a team, tags you in a chat, or anything like that. So all of these are really important to make sure that you get the correct notifications you want, and that you don't get the ones that you don't want. So make sure to go in here and check and make sure that yours is how you want it before you get started with using Teams. Now, if you don't know some of this Teams lingo, you will in just a minute, so maybe wait until after this video to change your settings. So while we're here in the settings area, I want to go over to this general tab. This is really, really important because they've done some pretty cool new things with the most recent Microsoft Teams update. And these are the options to create windows. So something that is cool is when starting a new chat or opening content inside Microsoft Teams, you can choose to open a new window, which basically means that it'll pop out a brand new window for that specific thing. So something that is pretty cool is, let's say you're inside of a chat with somebody and they send you a link to an Excel document. Before, it would take you inside of Excel inside of Teams. Yes, it's like double, it's like you're in Excel, but you're also still inside of Teams, and it's really weird and super annoying to some people. So a new option is they pull up Excel in a new window when you click on the link. So to be able to set that up, you would click this new window icon when opening content inside of Teams. Then if you want to set up a new window every time you start a new chat, you can come down here and click new window here, which every time you create new chats, this will basically pop up a brand new window for only that chat and only that person that you're talking about. So it could be a group chat as well. So the last thing that I wanted to mention too inside of this general settings is you can schedule an out of office. This is super helpful if you're going to be out of town for a week and you want to let your team know and remind them about it. You can choose to schedule that here just by clicking schedule, turning on automatic replies, and you can set an automatic reply for the out of office message. And you can also choose if you want to send replies outside of the organization or only keep them internal. And you can also send replies only during a time period. So when you click on that, you would set when you're going to be on vacation and when you'd want this out of office message to send to people. This is very helpful and I use it all the time. Obviously, there's tons more settings that we can talk about today, but those are the basics that I would suggest taking a look at when getting started inside Microsoft Teams. Now let's switch over to chats. Okay, so chats. Chats are conversations with what I would recommend just you and one other person, or maybe you or two or three other people, but I wouldn't really make it much bigger than that. It's supposed to be just direct communication between you and somebody else, quick, easy to do, like a text message. So if you want to create a new chat, you would click up here in the top right menu and click new chat. I have the chat window creates a new entire window of itself. So notice how it broke out this cute little window here. I can choose who I want to talk to. So let's say I want to talk to Bobby. And I actually already have a conversation going with Bobby. So notice how it pulled that up because it knew, hey, hold on a second, you actually already have a conversation with this person. And then I can go ahead and start typing to him. Now I'm going to close out of that and I'm going to go and click on these three dots next to where I just created a new chat. So click on that more options. You can choose to mark all as read. This is something where if you want to get rid of all of your notifications, you can do that pretty quickly. I've never used it, but maybe it might be useful to you. Notice how I have some of these chats at the top and then others I have at the bottom. These up top here are my pinned chats. You can pin a chat by right-clicking on that chat and clicking pin. Then when you right-click, you see you have a few other options. You can also mute that chat, hide it, or manage apps inside of that chat. And at the very top, you can choose to open that chat in a whole new window. So when you click on that, notice that my conversation with Jackie is now in its own window in itself. Something that I really do want to note to people about chats and typing a message is something that has really bothered me about Teams. And that is when you go to send a message to somebody, and let's say that you wanted to go to the next line, right? If you're typing something in a Word document and you're going to the next line down, you would, if you click, enter, it should go down to the next line. But actually, when you click enter inside of Microsoft Teams, it just sends the message. So for example, I was typing here and I clicked enter and boom, it just sent the message. But if you choose the formatting button, so let's say I was saying, testing 1, 2, 3, and I wanted to go to the next line, I would click this button right here, that's format, it's the little A with the pencil. When I click that, it makes the box bigger and it gives tons of options when it comes to formatting. When you click enter, it actually goes down to the next line. So if you're typing something, you want multiple lines, stuff like that, I would highly suggest clicking that button. I don't 100% know why they did it that way, but I think just maybe efficiency of your typing and your messages. But I always use that formatting button. Another cool thing is you can actually add in like cells and stuff like that too. And you can also mark your message as important if you wanted to do that to somebody. Then if you want to discard it, you would just click the delete button at the top and say discard and it would be gone. Another thing too is in this test message, if you right click on that, you can choose to actually delete the message. When you click it, it shows the person that the message has been deleted, but it doesn't show the information to the other person. Then also if you right click, you can choose to pin that specific message. You can copy the link to that message, which literally copies an exact link to the chat and everything. You can also forward the message, so it takes that message and you can choose to send it to somebody else with the exact information and who wrote that message to that other person. So that could be kind of helpful if you were just trying to copy some information to somebody and didn't feel like texting it out completely. So you would just click forward, send it to whoever you want to send it to. Then you would click forward, and it would forward that message to them. Notice how it says the name of who wrote that message and then the message information below it. It also says the time that the message was sent and the date that it was sent. So next, let's talk about teams. Teams are, they're very interesting because you've got the different channels inside of your different teams. Let's go under my YouTube training team. When you click on that, I've got a general channel, which is required for every single team under Microsoft Teams. So you have to have a general channel there. Then you can choose to create whatever channels you'd like underneath. That's going to be different depending on what your team does and how you want to sort your information. One thing that I want to talk about is if you click on the three dots at the top here, you can choose to manage your teams, see the pending invites you have, and show the analytics of your teams. To create or join a team, you would click this plus button here. To create a team from scratch, you're going to have two options. I'm going to choose from scratch, but you do have templates here that you can choose from. So when you click from scratch, you've got the private or public. Private is only people that have permission to join, and then public, anybody can really join if they just search teams in your organization. Then if you want to join a team, what you'll need is the code. Every team has a team code, which you can find in the settings of that team. You're going to enter that code here and click add team, and you will be added to that team. Now to find a code for the team, you're going to click on the three dots next to that team name, click manage team, go to the settings tab, and click team code. When you click on that, you're going to choose to generate the code, and it's going to pop up a code right here on the screen. You're going to put that code right here, click add team, and you should be good to go. Inside of a channel, you've got this little page here that has posts. They call them posts. They're basically like a little message board that you can pop up different things that whole team needs to know. You're going to click to start a post here. You can add a subject to the post and then type the message underneath. Then there's some settings here where you can choose to post this in multiple channels or just this channel. Then you can choose that everyone can reply or just you and the moderators can reply. So there's a few more options that you have inside of here, but just know that chats are just really with you and one other person. It's like more direct communication. And then this is more of like team announcements and team communication. So if somebody has sent you an invite to a team and you haven't seen it yet, you can click on that three dots above, like how I said before, and click pending invites. When people invite your team to a shared channel, the invite will show up there. Then you can also choose on that three dots, the analytics section. You can see how many people are active inside of your team, how many posts and how many replies there are, and the type of channel, whether it's private or public. Now, inside of Teams, you have a lot of options inside the settings of the team. So when you click on Manage Team and you go to the Settings tab, there are a lot of options to remove permissions for members and remove stuff or add stuff to the channel, like memes or stickers, or also allowing members to add or remove apps, upload custom apps and whatnot. You can also allow members to create private channels or not allow them to do that. You have the option to create private channels under a team. This makes them to where you have to have an invite to be able to get to them. Just like there's a private and a public team, you can have private and public channels underneath that team. Something to note, Microsoft Teams does connect really well with SharePoint. So every time you create a team under Microsoft Teams, it actually does create a SharePoint site. Now, if I have completely lost you after saying that, you can check out this video above where I talk more about how they connect and what you need to do to connect them. But I would highly suggest doing this because it's so efficient for your team and keeping files in places to where only the people that you want to access them and the people that you don't cannot access them. I would really recommend checking out that video if you haven't already seen it. All right, let's switch gears to calendar. So we've got the calendar. It's pretty simple to use, pretty straightforward. What you've got up here is you've got a join with an ID, meet now, and new meetings. So when you join with an ID, you can choose to join somebody's meeting if they've given you a specific ID. And then when you want to meet now, what it will do is it will create just like a really quick meeting at that very moment, and you can get the link right here and send it to somebody. So that's if you wanted a quick and impromptu meeting at that moment. Then you've got the new meeting schedule. When you click on that, it is going to pull up a window like this. You can choose to add a title, add required attendees, so you can type in and it should fill out who you can invite. Then you can choose if you want people that are optional, right? So they can choose to either come to the meeting or not come to the meeting. Then you're going to say the date here that you'd want the meeting to be set. The time, if it's all day, you can choose all day. You can also choose if the meeting repeats or not. So if it's a daily or weekly or monthly meeting, you can choose that here. And if you want to connect it to a channel, you also have the opportunity to do that as well. If you do connect it to a channel, so let's say it's Bobby's channel, you can send personal invites to everybody who's on that team. That's actually pretty cool. So another thing you can do is choose a location for the meeting, or you can choose if it is or is not an online meeting. When you have an online meeting, you have the option to have this lobby, basically where people can sit and wait for the meeting. Now you can choose to click down on this button here and allow only organizers and co-organizers to bypass the lobby. When you do this, the organizers and the co-organizers have the chance to be in the meeting and talk before letting the other people into the meeting. Next, you've got the details of the meeting, and then you also have the option for an agenda. This is really, really cool. It's connected to Microsoft Loop. If you don't know what Microsoft Loop is, I can link the video above where I talk about that. I'll also have it in the description so you can check it out after the video, but that's a really cool product to use if you don't know what it is. Once you're done with all of this information, you can choose to send the meeting invite and it'll send straight over to them. And you'll notice that you'll see it here on your calendar. Now, there's a few ways that you can view your calendar. You can choose to view it in work view, day view, week view, or this new view called agenda, where it basically only shows where you have meetings. So notice that on the 30th, I don't have any meetings, so it doesn't even show that day because there's nothing on my agenda. I like this view a lot, especially when you're trying to find meetings pretty quickly. Okay, now let's switch over to apps. If you're new to Microsoft Teams, you have the opportunity to add a bunch of apps and workflows inside of Microsoft Teams. So if you want to connect something like Monday.com or Power BI or I don't know, Google Analytics or something like that, you can choose to connect apps inside of here. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll have a video more in depth about apps and how to connect those. Hi friends, Future Kaylee here. My camera cut out, so sorry about that. But really all I want to say about the apps inside of Teams is there is so much to work with, and it's really only you and your team that can answer the question of what will work best for you. You've got a lot of integrations there, a lot of opportunities. Some opportunities I have already talked about, like TeamFlex, Decisions. There's a couple others that I've talked about too, but just note, if you are using it for your team and you're new to Microsoft Teams and you don't know much about that app section, just know if they're looking for you to integrate anything inside of your teams, this is where you will go to search for it. So just keep that in mind. With that, I am going to close this video. This is really all you'll need to know to start off your Microsoft Teams journey. If I missed something, which You know, I'm human, so I might have. Make sure to comment that below. This is a community, so I'm here to answer any questions I might be able to. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any advice for others in this community, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm here to pin those, and I can save them to the top so that people can see those. Also share what you've liked and what you've not liked about the new Microsoft Teams update. As I am recording this video that I'm adding to the end, the new Microsoft Planner integration with Microsoft Teams is out. So I'm going to make a video about that. All right, I'm going to stop rambling and end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified anytime we create new videos and new training for all of you. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.